So you want to hit some big explosions, some big chains, kind of want to go a bit Super Saiyan and hit a big beam. Well, today I've been playing Ignite Elementalist Divine Eye. It's always looked fun. I wanted to give it a whirl and showcase it. I make no false claims. I saw this build on YouTube. I'll link his channel in the description. And I gave it a whirl. I just like the big explosions, the big chains. I like the function of the beam. I like the defensive aspects of the block, and obviously the more MTX you put on, the better this whole shebang is going to look. So the whole real idea was to just cause some big explosions and role players a power level Scouter 9000, do you know what I mean? So the gameplay you're seeing is a bit of a juiced up, I think it's a tier 14 Haunted Mansion, and it handles it pretty well. Struggling with some uniques such as liches have caused me a bit of problems, and I'm also, as well as posting this guide, going to show you sort of how to craft the gear, and also I'm asking for a little bit of help because I do enjoy the build a lot. I think it's very cool. I'm just struggling with how to scale it. I've never played an Ignite build before, and I'm looking for some help, and I know asking for help inside of a build guide is seen as a big no-no, but it's true. The cool thing about this build before we begin is kind of like it's a bit of like a CC style build, so it has a bit of kind of utility. So you're casting your beam, and every 4 seconds or so you will see that this comes out. You can cast your beam through and it casts Wave of Conviction. So this skill, Anomalous Void Sphere, brings everything in towards it. So as you're channeling, you're dealing damage over time around you, you're bringing them towards you, and then you're hitting more chains. And it's kind of a cool playstyle. It reminds me of like Diablo 3 with like the Firebird set, if anybody remembers that. So the gear is Asenath's Touch. These have Ellie Weakness and Cast Speed, and these are cheap because there is a Divination card available for the Asenath's cards themselves, which you can see here, called the Gift of the Asenath, which is 10C. So there's loads of people turning these in, which makes these gloves, they were worth about 15C I paid for them. The helmet I got, if we take a look, I got a Herald of Ash enchant, and then I got a Shaper Herald of Ash enchant, apologies, and I rolled nearby enemies take increased elemental damage, and then I got a Conquest helmet, -9 fire, and I slammed them together, and then I think I hit armor, Exalted Life, and then I crafted some resistance. The scepter is like the big juicy one. This is actually made deterministically, so although it looks kind of scary and it's a little bit expensive, it does work. The general idea is you're getting like a Redeemer as cold, Shaper as lightning, fire, whatever, slam them together, and then we're doing a whole case of like prefix can't be changed, reforge, suffix can't be changed, reforge, and then we're veiling it. Ideally I would have veiled this trigger rather than the double damage, but because I'll be honest with you, I am struggling with like super endgame stuff, I've decided just to stick with it. Every 8 seconds is fine, and I don't want to spend multiple divines to remake it. Amulet, this has Charisma for our mana reservation. We have some Fizz as fire and +1 lightning. I then just basically got those 2 mods, crafted life, and then just exalted 3 times. I ended up with fire, lightning, and a cold res. Not ideal, but it is what it is. The shield, +1 lightning, life, and I again then just went ahead and exalted a load of stuff. I ended up with mana when block, avoid ailments, and I needed some decks, so I crafted decks on it. Rings were created just by chaos spamming. I needed decks and strength. This one worked. This one was slightly more expensive. Ideally you'd be looking for something like this. Vermilion ring with life, gain fizz as extra. So you could remake those. Those are done with Essence of Asteria. I need to catalyst this up as well. The belt was just made with chaos spam. No, it was made with chaos essences. It could have had more life. I ended up exalting on 450 armor and mana flask rate, not great. But basically you're just using chaos essences to find something good that caps out your resists. And likewise with the boots, I chaos spammed a pair of fractured boots, and We got Chaos Res, Fire Res, Life, which is what I needed. Put some Avoid Ailments on it. And then we have the chess piece, which is like a super good chess piece. Just generically good. I'm not sure if it's kind of wasted on this build. I'm probably gonna sell all of this gear as well. So if you're interested in purchasing this for your build, because I don't know if it's specific for this build, I'll probably put it on trade. We basically got Frenzy Charge on hit and Spell Crit, slammed them together. Then we got additional Curse, and then I veiled Avoid Ailments. But when I slammed the two initially together, I also had increased Curse of Aura effect, which is nice. Because normally, obviously, when it's influenced, you can't craft that mod because you don't have the blue or red orbs, but I actually got it when I slammed it together, which was really nice. So that was good, and then I just crafted Life. If you don't veil Avoid Ailments, you can veil 10% max life. This will all be in the POB, like the links and everything you need. I leveled this playing Arc, so I just played as a witch with Arc, and then I just went into our guild stash, grabbed some leveling gear, and then leveled as an Arc, then respect. The tree, I'll link the POB, but the tree is just cluster jewels basically. So if anybody wants to look at my POB and figure out how to get more ignite damage, please, because this would be super helpful, because I'm kind of winging this build. There's not much like documentation on it. So the cluster jewels weren't expensive. Maybe these aren't the most ideal ones, but I got Burning Bright Doriani's Lesson, and then I got Burning Bright Fan the Flames, which gives the ignite spread. Then I got Burning Bright again and Blowback, and then just put jewels in, which are kind of like Righteous Fire jewels. And then similarly on this one, Burning Bright Prismatic Heart and Cooked Alive Blowback, that's like minus max, that's ignite. And then on this one, Cooked Alive Burning Bright, again minus fire res and burning damage. Again, I'm not even sure if minus fire res even is affecting, because I know penetration doesn't, but obviously you want chance to ignite. And then we have two of these reservation nodes, which give resistances for malevolence. Like in the guide that I'm watching, he has the old passive tree where you could get 15 mana res on the tree. Obviously we can't do that, so I've anointed Charisma. The flasks I end up using were like Quicksilver, Bottled Faith, a hybrid flask to help my mana. If anybody can figure out how to solve the mana issues, that would be great, because if I don't have this flask on, it's a bit scuffed, which is why bossing kind of sucks sometimes, because I don't have a lot of mana regen. And that's kind of it. The only other thing to note is we're converting this node here, which I believe is like the agnostic or something, to divine flesh, which means 50% of your elemental damage is taken as chaos. And then we have max chaos res here. So if you go to the defense, you will see we have 81 chaos res, which is pretty nice. And we also have, if we put all our auras on, we have 15,000 armor. We have 45 block, 33 block. If you get more block on your shield, you will have more block due to this passive node here, which is 1% extra chance to block per 5 on your shield. And my shield basically has no block, so it's not great. So it's got like 50-50 block, 81 chaos res, ailment avoidance, and it maps like well. It's just struggling on the high end, so if anybody could give us any ideas of how to make it better. As we level up, we'll put a Malevolence Watcher's Eye in here, and we'll probably go down to this node, get some extra life, maybe pick up Shaper. You can also path here and put an Unnatural Instinct in if you want to go the big route, but personally I'm not sure it's worth it in its current state. But it's a pretty fun build. You get to be, you know, Hadouken mode, Scouter power level 9000, and I thought I'd show it. So yeah, there we go. That's the build I've been playing recently. I'll probably be chucking all this gear on traders. I need some money to fund a new build. So if anybody wants to scout around on trade, then yes.